Meanwhile, one mayor in Texas is warning about a recipe for disaster. Mike Tobin's got more. He's in Eagle Pass. Hey, Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. And one thing we can tell you here from Eagle Pass is that the flow of migrants is constant. Nothing but the elements will stop them. And with the anticipated end of Title 42 in just over 2 weeks, one estimate through FEMA is that the flow of migrants will triple in terms of volume to 18,000 people crossing per day. So one proposed solution, or something that's being discussed, is to take the overflow, the migrants who pile up here in Eagle Pass, Texas, 90 miles away, to Uvalde, Texas, where they don't even have a bus depot where people will be dropped off at a gas station. Unfortunately, you know the name Uvalde because of the mass shooting at Robb Elementary. Now the mayor says the federal government, which should be securing the border, is dropping another problem at their doorstep.
It's, like I said, you're lighting a bomb. I mean, it's just a matter of time before we're going to have serious problems. And we're already having enough problems after the Robb shooting and the tragedy that we're still trying to get over that. And then you're going to add this to it. It's just a recipe for a disaster.
And a lot of the high-speed chases that start at the border go through or close to Uvalde. And when the runners bail out, the mayor says schools need to go into lockdown. So Mayor McLaughlin says the people in this little town have been through enough. As far as the traffic here in the border, we have big groups, hundreds, about 300 strong, showing up just about every morning. And then as you watch the river throughout the day, there is just a constant trickle of small groups, families coming across. And that's what they're dealing with here on the border. Bill?
Another day. Mike Tobin, thanks. Eagle Pass, Texas. Thank you.
Got it.
Dana.
So as we mentioned, President Biden is flying this morning to the border state of Arizona, where a visit to the border is not on his schedule. Instead, he plans to push his plans for the economy. Here to talk about it is Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich. And I'm sure that Arizona is grateful for the attention on this CHIPS deal. That is a big deal. That is important for your state. However, here's Karine Jean-Pierre. This is yesterday when asked why the president is not going to visit the border while he's in your state.
That's what we're calling for, right? We're asking for Republican officials to come and work with us and let's have a bipartisan agreement on immigration instead of doing political stunts, instead of doing what they're doing, going to the border, not actually coming up with any real ideas about that.
I'm just not even sure what the real ideas they're providing. And we pay attention to this every day, Mark.
Yeah, Dana, thank you for having me on. And I guess I would begin with the basic premise that we need less photo ops and more border stops from our president. And I think it's a sad irony with everything going on. More than 5 million people have illegally entered this country since Joe Biden became president. It's like the entire population of a state like Alabama or South Carolina. We've seen a record amount of fentanyl flooding into this country, enough fentanyl this past year to kill potentially every single American in this country. So this is a country, this is a crisis where we know that people on the terror watch list have been apprehended, a record amount of drugs are flowing in, and quite frankly, my only surprise is that Joe Biden won't go to the border because I think that's the only place in the world where his numbers are above 40%.
And the interesting thing is, you're the AG, you're the lawyer there for the state. The border is not your responsibility. That is a federal responsibility. That is It is for him to decide how to control the border. And if he wants to propose a lot of things, that's great. And maybe we can get there. There's a new bill that they're going to try to push forward. But as Senator Tom Cotton just told us, securing the border is the key to getting all the other things you might want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. The president, the federal government is at its apex of its power when it comes to national security and border security. I mean, this is what Washington, D.C. should be focused on. And instead, they're doing things like, today Joe Biden's going to come out and do this photo op for a plant that was already being built and in the process of on the road to manufacturing chips. And every time today we hear the word competing with China from Joe Biden's mouth, I want everyone to think of the words crony capitalism, because that's what the federal government's doing. It's basically creating this dependence on corporations, on the federal government, instead of focusing on its true job, which is protecting Americans. And so Joe Biden has incentivized and decriminalized an activity. That is legal border crossing. And that's why we're seeing this dramatic spike. And every single month now we're saying it's a new record, and there's a new flood. And all these communities along the border, you were just talking about Texas communities. Communities like Yuma, Arizona are spending so much money on health care, education. Then you have to worry about, these chases with gotaways where 2,000 people a month are illegally entering our country. So America is less safe because of Joe Biden. He needs to focus on doing his job. We need less photo ops and more border stops.
Attorney General for Arizona, Mark Brnovich, thank you for coming on today. I'm sure your state will be pretty busy in the news. Thank you.